And welcome to the DYNAMO Show, episode 9. I am your host, James Erdt, the chief architect of WOW for DYNAMO Entrepreneur. We support entrepreneurs, predominantly speakers, authors, internet marketers, coaches, bloggers, and all kinds of experts in living well and doing good. We have a fantastic show for you today with 3 very special guests. Without further ado, let's bring on our first, Mr. Ronnie Fisher.
James, thanks for having me today.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
I am such a fan of you.
Oh, I'm a fan of you.
I gotta say, this past year, I mean, we've only known each other a little while, but I've seen you just climb so fast, and it's gotta come down to one word: energy, positive energy. Tell us a little bit about your youth.
My youth was nowhere near what I am today. You're absolutely right. There has been some major shifts, some transformations that I've experienced.
Yeah.
Youth was, I experienced a lot of negativity.
Okay.
I grew up in a environment that was poverty-stricken. There was some abuse, some drug addictions, and it just wasn't the most pleasant upbringing that I've experienced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of kids go through that, you know.
Absolutely.
What would you attribute to some of the things that allowed you to overcome that adversity, overcome those challenges as a young person?
I think that everyone I grew up with in my environment, in my neighborhood, the kids all experienced some of the very similar things. But I was driven, and I had that energy, and I knew that there was something more possible, and there was something bigger and better for me. I knew that something had to change, that this was not the lifestyle that has been created for me. I had to get out of it, I had to escape it, and I had to make the action steps in order to do so.
And you see now, as we grow as more entrepreneurs and experts, speakers, etc., how a lot of that story, and I know you're involved with a group called Mo Mondays, we can get into that in a little bit, how powerful the story is to support others and inspiring others to overcome their own stuff. If you were to say maybe 2 or 3 tips for our audience, how do you get involved into speaking on stage and sharing your story?
With Mo Mondays, you mean?
With Mo Mondays or any organization?
Well, I suggest it's just action steps, and it's just having that courage. It's a matter of shifting that mind so that you just have the desire to get up there and share, because what happens is when you're sharing your story, it resonates with somebody. Whether it's one person in that audience who has experienced similar things, maybe they're dealing with a family issue, maybe it's them themselves, but a lot of the times a purposeful story is impactful, and it inspires them to make the change and have the courage to do so themselves.
I love it, I love it. So speaking of purpose, what's yours? Do you have a purpose here?
Absolutely. My purpose in life has now been to inspire, motivate, and encourage and educate others to do the exact same thing and to find their purpose. I find that too many people are drifting through life without direction, and they haven't designed or created a blueprint for their own life's path and success.
It's true. It's so true. So who inspires you? Who inspires Ronnie Fisher?
There's a lot of people that inspire me these days, but I grew up with lacking inspiration, and I think it was just the fact that I was conforming to a lifestyle that may have been created surrounding me.
Yep.
And it was my environment. But these days, there's a lot of people that inspire me who are living well and doing good. James, you're one of those people that definitely inspires me, and motivates a lot of other people. People who are trying to make a shift.
Yes.
People who are trying to make a difference.
Yes.
Those who are trying to impact others.
Yes.
Who are spreading love.
Giving them a voice.
Absolutely.
A messenger for the messengers.
Absolutely. Yep.
I love it. And you're one of those too. I mean, like Mo Mondays. Tell us a little bit about your project.
Yeah, Mo Mondays is a storytelling platform.
Yeah.
And we mix in live entertainment. It's got a lot of interesting people telling their unique individual stories.
Including a dear friend of ours, Michel Naray.
Michel Naray
big up to Michel Naray. He's the founder. He's been on the Dynamo Show.
Yeah, great guy, heart of gold.
Yes.
And now he's become a brother. It's an amazing experience. And the community that he has developed just continues to expand. So he started it here in Toronto, and we're now the 13th city across Canada.
Oh, wow. So Mo Mondays, Motivation Mondays, okay? You got motivation and you got inspiration.
That's right.
Motivation, inspiration. To you, what's the difference?
Motivation is a lot of the times other people contributing, I think. I get motivated by other people contributing to me, but I get inspired by those I'm looking at and watching, and they're doing their thing. Okay, so I think that's the bit of a difference. Coaching is motivation to me, teaching is motivation to me, but inspiration comes from watching other people do it and taking action.
I actually heard a line, and I apologize because I don't even know who said it. It was our God-given duty here on this planet in this human phase was simply to inspire.
Yeah.
That is our only job. And then I thought about it. Like really, if we really take care of ourselves and we put that oxygen mask on us, we take care of our backyard, we wouldn't need to take care of each other so much.
Yep, absolutely.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
By
leading by example. Yep.
By leading by example. That's awesome. So Mo Mondays, I'm excited. I've actually spoken on the platform. I'm going to be speaking again at your club out in Niagara. I'm going to be speaking in Toronto one day soon. So Michel Naray, having started such a vision and an organization like this, and to be able to franchise it out, it takes skills. It takes, different types of opportunities and networks to kind of align, okay? What are some of the challenges that somebody like Michel or like yourself, would encounter starting something like this or getting into this type of profession?
I think one of the things that he tried, or one of his challenges is finding people that really suit the brand, that are gonna do well for the brand, because he's very protective of that. He is, you can have people that are the wrong suit for it that aren't gonna be successful at it, and it's going to bring the entire brand down with it.
It's true.
So I think that our partnership is very valued because of the fact of, we're putting effort in. We're go-getters, we're doing things, we're taking action, and we're really making an impact within our community, and it looks good.
So let's say, besides Mo Mondays, I know you have aspirations to do some really fantastic things as an expert yourself. Care to share about some of those?
I have a extensive construction background, and I've been project manager for several residential projects, subdivisions. Recently, I've been developing high rises.
Oh, wow.
I'm a real estate investor, so I'm always buying and flipping houses and
all about it.
Moving and shaking in the market type of thing.
Love it.
That's one of the things I really enjoy, and I've had the opportunity to really meet some great people from all areas, whether we're signing contracts or these are the guys that are working in the field. It's really nice to be out there and just talking with people.
I love it. So talking with people requires networking skills, really getting out there. In your professional experience, what would maybe be 3 tips for our audience, if you care to share? What would make a good networker, somebody that really gets out there?
I think enthusiasm is one of the things that makes a really good networker. I think that somebody is outgoing, willing to take that initiative, take that step towards meeting somebody new, and showing interest in somebody else. We can all talk about ourselves. We all have that, we want that moment in the spotlight, right? That's me. And I've gone through that. I'm still at that stage sometimes. But one of the things is really showing attention to the details that the other person is sharing.
To the us.
Absolutely.
To the we.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So speaking of like secrets of success, I know you've become successful very quickly in a number of different genres. Why the quickness? I see you going from this to this to this, all of which you've accomplished great heights. What would you attribute to the speed of your success?
Mentors is number one.
Cool.
People have
Great answer.
obviously been there, done that, sharing their knowledge, sharing their experience. It's gonna help you streamline to where you wanna go. So having somebody who is already there that is willing to teach and preach and sell their skills to you. One of the other things that I'm really big on is discovering personal development and streamlining yourself through discovering what your passion is, having identified your talent, your association, taking action, and having faith.
I love it.
So to me, that's a success equation. That's a blueprint.
It is a blueprint.
Right? And following the blueprint could be written for no matter what industry you're in. You're going to go there with these tools.
It's true.
So I've acquired a bunch of tools.
I love it. And assets. What would you say is your greatest asset?
I think my greatest asset is me, because you can take everything that I own, you can take everything that's physical and tangible away from me, and I've still got me.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what industry I go to, everything that I've acquired is my tool from up here.
I love it. So how do they find you? Why don't you share with our audience a little bit about, social media or website, or how do they find Ronnie Fisher?
Yeah, Ronnie Fisher is obviously on Facebook and social media. We are also momondays.com/Niagara, and our email address is niagara@momondays.com.
That's awesome. Thank you so much,
Appreciate
Ronnie.
it, buddy. Thanks for having me.
I look forward to being on your stage one day soon.
Me too.
And what's exciting is we actually have one of your partners from Mo Mondays Niagara, Mariola. She's on her way as our second guest. We are on our way to a short commercial break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Dynamo Show, episode 9. We just had an interview with Ronnie Fisher, and we are about to interview one of his business partners and friends, Mariola Czarniak. Pleasure to have you on the show. I know you're doing such amazing things in the community, and I really commend you on all the success you're having and you're having with Ronnie and the organization Think and Grow Rich that you work with. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the younger years, or maybe when you came to Canada originally, because I know you went through some challenges, and I would love to hear about them, and I'm sure the audience would too.
Sure. Well, first of all, my pleasure to be here. I absolutely enjoy your shows. I absolutely watching all the episodes, so thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Mariola.
I overcame quite a few challenges, but probably one of the biggest ones that I had, it was when I first came to Canada. I was extremely self-conscious about my accent, and I was so self-conscious that it blocked me from fulfilling any of the goals in my life. At some point, I actually even was over 200 pounds overweight, and a lot of challenges along the way.
Well, congratulations, first off. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment in itself, but I'll let you continue.
Thank you. And so I guess one of the things happened to me that what helped me to overcome that challenge was when I first got introduced to Think and Grow Rich Institute and Mr. Satish.
I know Satish
yes,
well.
Of course. So,
great man.
Yes, and Satish, by using the philosophy, he was able to unblock within 30 seconds. Kid you not, within 30 seconds, he was able to unblock that self-consciousness that I had about my accent, about speaking incorrectly in English. And I don't know if you ever experienced that, but within these seconds, I forgot how to breathe. It wasn't even a aha moment. It wasn't even, oh, I know that I have to believe in myself. No, it was literally, I forgot how to breathe. And the cloud that I had in front of my definite major purpose in life suddenly disappeared, and everything became much clearer. And when you find that passion, and if you're not afraid to pursue that passion, things just happen. And I mean, within minutes, I wrote out the plan for my next few years, what I want to do, how I want to pursue, how I want to achieve that definite major purpose in life, and things started happening.
I see it happening. I'm watching it. I'm watching it on social media. I'm so excited to come and speak in Niagara. That's going to be amazing.
We're very excited to have you.
I've already spoken in Toronto. Michelle Naray is a dear friend of mine, so I know him well. And I love what Satish is doing too. With the Think and Grow Rich project. Did you read that book back when you were a kid?
You know what? I did read it. I would say about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Because I was in sales, and you know what? I met a lot of wonderful people that coached me and said, you know what? You need to read this book. So I read this book, but you know how sometimes you read it. Okay, I read it, and when you have the just reading and having the knowledge, but not applying the knowledge is like not having the knowledge at all.
Or buying like a diet book and putting it on the shelf.
Exactly.
And thinking you're gonna, without action.
You got it. And that's how I felt. Yes, that's how I felt. I'm like, well, I know that you're supposed to be positive. You're supposed to do this, and that. But it was more like talking the talk, not walking the walk.
Applying the principles.
Yes.
And that was my very first book.
Amazing.
That was my very first book. And it's so profound because you know, it just manifests, you know, and I manifested that back when I was like, I don't know, 13, 14,
Good
15.
for you.
You know, actually the second book I ever read was the book on jealousy, and I eliminated that feeling for the rest of my years till today. Right?
Amazing.
But you know, with the philosophy of Think and Grow Rich, when you're a young person, you don't really absorb it the way you would as an adult. When I actually went back and really studied what was actually in that book, it's amazing to see what's going on. So
yes.
I commend you for the position with that organization, and I'm sure big things to come.
Thank you.
So let's talk about purpose. You dropped purpose in there a little bit. So I would love to know a little bit more about your big why.
My definite major purpose is to inspire people to optimize and achieve their full potential. I mean, I love people, and I love people because we are such unbelievable creatures that are capable of achieving so much. And being able to help someone to identify that definite major purpose and achieve it, and whether it's through Think and Grow Rich philosophy, whether through bringing an epic speaker such as yourself to my Mo Monday stage, we're so grateful to have you there. And whether just by walking my walk and exemplifying that you can achieve success in life if you really want to achieve something.
So you mentioned role models. Let's talk about some of yours. Who would be your role models? Anyone in particular, or a group of people?
Interesting. It can be myself, can it?
It can be. Ronnie took that one. You can't have that one.
Yeah, big surprise.
I'm kidding.
No, you know what? I want to say I'm a strong believer that you become who you surround yourself with, and I can truly say that I really try to surround myself with game changers, super achievers, and I love it.
Oh, I love that word, super achiever. That's good.
But I would have to say, throughout my life, my absolutely number one would be my mom.
Aw.
Yeah.
Tell us about your mom.
So number one reason why I think she's such a great role model for me, because now studying the philosophy, I see throughout her life how she has had applied that philosophy without even reading the book, without knowing the philosophy. She has had applied it. And I mean, starting from early years, she comes from very humble beginnings, had to overcome a lot of challenges. Her father passed away at a very young age, and she managed to build a beautiful career for herself and a beautiful family.
And came to Canada with you?
Yes, and she just recently actually came to Canada. A lot of people said, are you crazy? You're leaving the career. You're leaving all of that in Poland to come here. You're going to face the culture shock. You know what? She came. She taught herself English within 3 months, just from the website or using some books. She taught herself English. She absolutely embraced the culture here. And right now she's being an epic grandmother to my kids and absolute epic role model as she has always been.
You know what I would put money on? Seeing that you made the transition first, you would be her role model now.
Oh, very interesting.
You ever thought of that? You know, you taking the leap before she did, and then now coming and having this culture shock and doing what she does. So
yeah,
that's awesome. Big shout out to all the moms out there. You know, my mom, you know, she moved on from this world about 3 years ago on Mother's Day, and she was also my role model, my biggest role model for philanthropy. Right? So one of the reasons I do what I do and the way I give back and the way I pay for it and how I get involved with good causes and charities is because I watched my mom at a very young age on fashion model runways. She owned a big modeling agency, modeling school, and she gave back to community houses for battered women and children. She taught me as a very young age how to respect women like your mother and your daughter. It says a lot about a man, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So let's talk about maybe some of the things that you're doing now, okay? These are, you know, times that are really, you know, tumultuous. There's a lot of adversity, there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of corruption going on in the world if you look at it. Now when I see somebody like yourself or somebody like Ronnie that are focusing so much on positivity and allowing people to share those stories of overcoming, what are some of the things that you do now to face the challenges of this world?
Do you want actual strategies, or do you
yeah,
want
like give us a strategy. Maybe tell it our viewers.
Okay, well, one of the main strategies that I would suggest is starting your morning routine in the most epic way you can. So getting up in the morning, and the way you start your morning is determines how you will lead your day. So make sure to start with a little bit of exercise, and I know all of you watching it are super achievers, so you know already the benefits of exercise. So start it in the morning, start reading a lot, and usually the positive reading, review the plan for the day and intentions for the day, and do some affirmations, because it's going to set you up for that primary win. It's going to set you up that any adversities that will come your way, you will be able to overcome.
I love it. I love it. And love, you know, lots of vibrating energy or fear.
Yes.
Okay. I know you talk a lot about fear and failures and overcoming your fear and failures. Any tips for overcoming?
I would say if you are fearful of anything, do more of it. And the more you do it, the more fearless you become. I'm almost addicted to being fearless right now. If something is out of my comfort zone,
yeah, girl.
I just go for it, and I do it enough times so actually I become, I don't want to say master at it, but I just love doing it. So that's if it comes to the failure and to the fears. But if it comes to the failure, there isn't such thing as a failure unless you accept it as such. So you can.
Lesson.
Yes, so we will have the lessons, we will have little defeats, we will have little obstacles in our life. But if you identify it as the seed of opportunity, if you water it, then you will collect the fruits of learning that lesson.
And fear is not a factor for Mariola Czarniak. Thank you so much for coming to the DYNAMO Show, Mariola. It was awesome. I'm going to see you on stage at Mo Mondays.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
This is the DYNAMO Show. I'm James Erdt. With our short commercial break, we will be right back with a good friend named Todor. Welcome back to the DYNAMO Show. This is episode 9. We've already had a conversation with Ronnie and Mariola. Now we're going to take it to a very special friend of mine. His name is Todor Yordanov. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me, James.
Oh,
Pleasure
you're
to
so
be here.
welcome. You're so welcome. Wow, I'm just watching all the success you're having, you know, on social media, and you're so good at posting to all the different groups, and you know, I learn a lot from you, especially from marketing and posting and stuff. So I thank you for that. Before we actually get into talking a little bit about business and success and being an expert in your chosen space, you know, and when I think of expert in real estate, take for example, I think of you. And we're going to get into why.
Oh my God.
Before we do that, I'd love to talk a little bit about you. Okay, if you're open to it, let's maybe talk some challenges, talk a little bit about your youth. Care to share a story?
For sure. When you say challenges, unlike a lot of people, I don't see challenges in my life. I guess I'm just like built that way. I don't have a particular challenging story or a challenging period of my life that I was trying to overcome. I see life as constantly flowing, and beautiful days come and go.
I love it. Have you always seen it that way?
And then you have like, I always see it that way, yeah. So,
good.
you know, you talk to a lot of people that are inspiring other people, and very often people that are inspiring me as well, they come from, you know, difficult childhood, they come from poverty, they come from a period of their life when they were not in a situation that is promoting positive growth. That is very different in my case. I grew up in, should I say, a privileged family.
Okay.
I grew up in a communist Bulgaria.
Gotcha.
So in communist Bulgaria, healthcare is free, education is free, and then you have a lot of options in front of you. But my family was not privileged in the Western society kind of way, but you know, very positive, very educated, very well-established professional parents.
Okay, great.
My father was an actor, my mother was a pharmacist, so they were very respected in our city, in our society, back home. So I had a really great upbringing and a great family. My father was famous.
Gotcha.
And
as an actor.
As an actor, yes.
Yeah,
so
cool.
growing up in a family of a famous actor is a challenge of its own, because everywhere you go, people recognize the father and people recognize the name.
Yeah.
And there's, I wouldn't say like there is certain expectations, but you're not you.
Yeah.
You're the son of somebody else.
I have a few friends like that.
Right. So when I was 21, 22, I decided to make a name for myself, and I left the country.
Ah.
And I went as far as I can go, which was Canada.
Yeah.
And I landed with $40, no English, didn't know anybody, and didn't know what to do. I basically said, you know, I want to be me. I want my name to be my name.
And you're doing good with that.
And it ended up, and the way I see it now, I mean, there's a positive and negative in everything that we do. I missed my family. And
is your dad still with us?
No.
Is he still around?
No, he's been gone for 20 years.
What kind of movies, if you don't mind? What kind of TV
all kinds
shows?
of, he was an actor in the theater, but he did a lot of radio, TV, movies, and all of that.
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it was like a very, very well-known actor at the time.
Okay, very good, very good. And I know you're getting more well-known as you come to Canada now and what you've done and this epic community that you're building. You know, what are some of the things that Canada really was different like? You know, talking about, you know, the success of an entrepreneur, the ability to become as an entrepreneur to begin with. You know, did you have those types of opportunities in Bulgaria?
I wouldn't know because I left Bulgaria when I was 21. So that was 26 years ago.
Okay.
So I must have been 24, and that was 26 years ago. So
Are there entrepreneurs to this day in Bulgaria?
I was just, of course, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If I had stayed, my life would be completely different. But I decided to make it on my own. And that was always the driving force behind me, to do things on my own, under my own name, under my own recognition, and to always explore and always contribute and always search for more. It's the search for more that keeps me going.
Now, what motivates you to continue going? What motivates you to search for more?
It's a beautiful world.
It is.
You have to
High
see
five
the
to
whole.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It certainly is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you have
What color glasses are you wearing?
Yeah, you
know?
wake up every day. It's like I want to go see this and I want to do that, and it's why not?
Why not?
You know, if I don't do it today, when am I going to do it?
That's right. You know, you wear the black glasses, you know, you're going to see dark, you're going to see negative. You know, it's your choice at that moment.
Correct.
Are you going to be angry? Are you going to feel sad? Are you going to be jealous, etc.?
Absolutely.
You know, all poison coursing through your veins. Or are you going to wear those rose-colored glasses? Choose love, choose abundance, choose joy.
There you go.
I see you as a prime example of this, you know, driving you forward to success.
Wonderful.
And it actually attracts success. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely wonderful. And then few years ago, I kind of, it occurred to me that every idea that I get, a crazy idea, a good idea, a wonderful idea, any idea, the idea comes with its own energy. It's almost like a rocket, but the rockets have those big fuel tanks that fall off after the liftoff.
Nice.
That's what the idea comes with. It comes with those big tanks of energy.
Yeah.
And they fall off very quickly.
Yeah.
So if you don't act now, you lose the energy. You still have the idea, but the energy that the idea came with is no longer there.
How do you sustain the energy?
By action, by doing things. And this is what I told myself, and I'm kind of doing this now. Every time I get an idea, I usually act on it right away. I put it in motion.
I do that as well.
I put it in motion right away and then see what happens.
Would you say you're an ideas guy?
I am.
Concept guy?
For sure.
Execution guy?
I'm not a finisher.
Ah.
I'm an execution guy, but I'm not a finisher.
Yeah. I've had to learn that.
Right.
You know, maybe we have something in commonality where we start a bunch of ideas, we get ideas. It could be sleeping, it could be at the park, it could be with our family and our kids. What happens when you start too many ideas?
Your life goes into this wonderful spin of action, and in my case, I don't sleep. I'm on my computer, I'm on my phone, I'm doing all of these things, and my blood pressure goes up after 5 days of non-stop working, and then I have to go to the beach and I have to relax and kind of rejuvenate a little bit and get my own juices flowing again. But I just get inspired, I get excited.
Who inspires you? Give me 2 or 3 names.
Who inspires me? Like big names?
Yeah.
Well, we have this Gary V guy now on social
yeah.
media.
He's rocking it,
He's
eh?
rocking it.
Wow.
Definitely an inspiring kind of guy. You know, big names that inspire me are Richard Branson.
Love it.
With so many businesses and still having the lifestyle of
You didn't
choice.
sell him his island, did you?
No, I
'Cause
didn't.
I know you're involved in property and stuff like that. Yeah,
That's
what a
right.
great deal that would
That's
be,
right,
eh?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm planning on buying my own island, but I'm actually going to donate it to some lovely kids to have like a summer camp, you know, and then throughout the winter we'll do some adventurous type stuff for people like you and I, where we can learn and bring in some of the top experts around the world. But for July and August, it's going to be a camp for the kids. Actually, it wouldn't be an island. It's Costa Rica that I'm looking at.
Let's do it.
So maybe you can help me with that. Find me
Let's
a
do
nice
it.
piece of prime land to really support some kids and inspire them.
You know, when you have a great idea like this, everybody comes to help.
So great. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
It's just
amazing.
people show up from everywhere and they
Yeah.
want to help because they get inspired as well.
That's right.
And we all have this need to help the community and do something together.
It's true.
Most of us.
I love it.
Most
I love
of
it.
us, yeah.
So on that note, we're going to go to a short commercial break, and we're going to come
Okay.
back and we're going to talk about business.
Let's do that.
All right. I'm with Todor. I'm James. We're going to come right back after a short commercial break, and we're going to get inspired on becoming an expert in business, predominantly real estate. Welcome back to the Dynamo Show. I'm your host, James Erdt. This is the show where we interview experts, okay? Experts that are not only living well, but they're also doing good. They're putting the oxygen mask on themselves, and they're also putting the oxygen mask on their community. A big part of community all over the world is real estate. Real estate is one of the oldest ways to manage and grow your money. Yes, okay, we have dips in the market, etc., but it's one of the most common ways that we can provide not only the ability to attain wealth, but also to sustain and maintain wealth. So I have an expert here with me today, Todor. Let's talk real estate, okay? How did you get into the game to begin with?
It was, again, one of my inspiration. It comes from my great-grandfather.
Okay.
A guy that I've never met because he passed away when I was 6 months old.
Yeah.
And he was a lawyer, and he, during his life, amassed a big real estate portfolio, wineries, warehouses, a lot of commercial real estate all over Bulgaria.
Okay.
And when the communists came, they
Yep.
took everything. So, you know, his family, his
Imagine that. Wow.
right, his daughter, which is my grandmother, and I grew up not having any of that. But when I came to Canada, I kind of started fantasizing. I says, wouldn't it be cool
Yeah.
if I can do that myself,
Yeah.
if I can build a little bit of that by myself? So I kind of imagined what was in his days.
Yeah.
And you know, how my grandmother grew up being a young girl before the communist regime took everything. So here I am, and I'm trying to do my best to follow in that footsteps, in that example.
I think you're doing a great job.
And I just love real estate, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I know you do like community events for real estate as well. You know, I was
Yes.
actually speaking at one of your events way back, and I have to thank you. You know, my beautiful fiance Nicola and I, we met a couple that was actually front row at your event watching me speak, and they're
Right.
now a couple that we hang out with frequently.
Yes.
So I really must thank you for Gary and Carrie and Stefan. They were there, and they got so inspired by kind of what I was doing that we connected, you know, just like how people are connecting. I see everybody in the back room over here connecting, exchanging
Right.
numbers, networking, etc. A big part of the real estate game is connecting. Maybe give the viewers some tips on how do you connect with new prospects or people, or how to even get into the game.
You get into something, in my view, is by giving back. Like,
Yeah.
we all have something that we can exchange, something that we can give.
Yep.
There is a lot of gifts inside of us that are just sitting unopened. And what I mean by that is, like, you can give time, you can give expertise, you can give advice, you can write blogs, you can do anything. It's just all giving. and it comes back to you in different magical ways, in my experience. So the real estate club that you refer to is that place in Toronto where people come. I created the club with the sole purpose of having a space where everybody comes with their questions, but also come with their experiences.
Great space too. What was that building called?
It's Center for Social Innovation.
That's right. It's downtown Toronto. What a cool concept that is.
It is beautiful. Yeah, it started in New York.
Yeah.
And there are multiple locations in New York, and now we have it in Toronto.
Isn't that awesome? Are there any others in Canada?
It's fantastic. No, but they're very active. So they keep on buying buildings and refurbishing those buildings and creating those beautiful spaces, visually, architecturally, where people meet and collaborate and inspire each other. And
now you have a successful club too. I mean, I know when I went, it was wall to wall packed. So what would you say is a tip for those networkers out there that want to fill rooms or that want to do groups like you're doing? What would be, you know, something that you can attribute to the success of filling a room like that?
I know it may be a cliche, but don't sell.
Ha!
Don't sell. It's just, you know, provide the space for people to come and
value.
bring them value.
Location.
Give them so much.
Yeah.
That in the future, if they decide to do something in your sphere of experience, they will think about nobody else.
I love it.
Or they will be even better. They will be telling their friends. Because what I find in my business experiences is usually it's not a one-on-one. It's not like I give and then I get back from that same purpose.
Yeah.
No, I give.
Yes.
And then business comes to me unexpectedly from all over the place, from people that I've never met.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it doesn't come back from the same people that I'm giving to, but it comes from other people. It's just magical.
Now, when you say give, you know, that's for the people within the business and real estate and networking communities, you know, which is very, very strong in Toronto. We're very lucky to actually be here. What about giving back to a philanthropic initiative or like a good cause? Do you pay it forward in any way?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Care to share?
I've supported over the years a lot of cancer research companies.
Yeah.
But I support mostly one hospital in Mississauga. It's called Credit Valley Hospital.
Okay. Yeah,
so I donate my time and I donate money to that hospital.
Yeah.
It's very, very dear to me.
Okay.
And anything healthcare.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and then in real estate, what would be the next step for you? Like, where are you taking it?
Oh my God. I don't really know. I have no idea. I just wake up every day and I find something to excite me. A client that I serve, I do a lot of pre-construction condos in Toronto.
Okay.
You know, Toronto is this booming market right now. It's incredible.
It is.
The real estate here, you know, those years that we're having, it's a very active market. So
I've had a lot of real estate friends do well this past spring.
I just keep busy with that, and you know, it's a combination between work and also give back.
Are you expanding outside of Toronto? Are you doing anything in other cities across the country?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Any
Not
plans
at the moment.
to?
We have some plans, but we'll see. You will see.
Toronto's a big market.
Exactly.
You know?
This is keeping me busy right now.
Yeah. Now, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, okay, if they were looking for Todor, you know, how do they find you in Toronto?
Well, there's not that many of us here in Canada.
True.
Yeah, the first name is spelled Todor. You can look it up. I always say Google my name because with social media, I put all of my content online. YouTube channels, Facebook channels, Instagram. We started a condo website called humbercondos.ca as well, because we're focusing on that market in GTA. So social media, my phone number. Can I say my phone number?
What we'll do is, rather than your phone numbers, we'll talk about your mailing list, because I know I'm on your mailing list and I get some stimulating stuff. You know, you write some really great articles, so kudos for that. Especially for keeping my attention, which is
Thank you so much. I didn't realize that. Coming from you, this means a lot to me. Yeah, thank you.
All good, all good. Why don't you share how do you get on the mailing list?
You have to go to my website.
Yep.
And it's my last
name.
Spell
that out.
YordanovTeam.com.
Yep.
YORDANOV team, TEAM.com.
You got it.
And that's my website, and then you can find all that wonderful information on my website.
I love it, I love it, I love it. Todor, thank you so much for being on the show today. It's an honor. I look forward to sharing, more business with you, and we've done some events together. I look forward to doing more. So we're gonna see more from Todor. Stay
really
tuned.
appreciate it. Thank
you so much for tuning in today. This is the Dynamo Show. Once again, I am your host, James Erdt. This is all about living well and doing good. And if you get inspired, when you get inspired by any of these wonderful guests that we've had today, get up, get off your couch and go do it. Take action. Focus on the law of attraction, focus on the attitude of gratitude and giving back and really serving the world. You serve enough people just like these wonderful guests do, and watch the magic unfold in your very own life. Thank you, and namaste.